It's no secret that cats are masters at communicating with each other, but what about with us? For all their mysterious vibes, they actually have a lot to say if we just knew how to listen. Learning to read your cat's body language is one of the best ways to connect with your feline friend. When it comes to reading any animal, behaviorists say it's best to start with the basics, like the body's general posture or the position of its tail, and cats are no exception. But there are also a few unique traits to look out for when trying to decipher what your kitty is thinking or feeling. That's why we've put together this guide to help you become a pro at reading those adorable little meows. When your cat has the zoomies, have you ever come home from a long day only to find your normally cool and collected cat tearing around the house like a tiny tiger on caffeine? This sudden burst of energy is known as the frenetic or zoomies, and it's not unique to cats. You might see other animals, including dogs, exhibit similar behaviors. But don't let your cat's manic movements fool you. There's more going on than meets the eye. According to the American Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals, cats usually get the zoomies when they're bored, overstimulated, or anxious, but they can also get them after a good grooming session. It's believed that this burst of energy is a way for cats to release pent-up energy or relieve built-up tension. Ears up, tail up, it's an invitation. Cats are crepuscular, meaning they're most active during dawn and dusk. These times often correspond with meal times, which means your cat could be letting you know they're hungry. Cats in the wild rely on stealth to catch prey, so they typically hunt when the sun isn't shining too brightly. When your cat rubs against you, tail held high with their ears perked forward, they're likely looking for the same thing, a tasty snack. If your cat is approaching you and their tail is straight up in the air, it's likely an invitation to play. This is especially true if their tail has a slight curve at the end, which signifies confidence and satisfaction. If your cat is showing this behavior, it could be time to bust out the wand toy and let your kitty do some hunting of their own. Now, if their tail is straight up with the tip pointing down, it could be a sign of fear or anxiety rather than excitement. If this is accompanied by flattened ears, dilated eyes, or an arched back, it's important to remove them from whatever is causing their distress. When their tail is down and tucked, they're feeling blue. While an upright tail can indicate happiness, a tail that's down and tucked could signal the opposite. A tucked tail is often a sign that your cat is feeling vulnerable, stressed, scared, or anxious. In some cases, it can also mean they're in pain. There are a few other things to look out for when it comes to tail position. If your cat's tail is between their legs, they may be feeling particularly ashamed or embarrassed. Perhaps they got into something they weren't supposed to and are now being scolded. On the other hand, a high-up, puffy tail can show dominance. So if your cat is puffing out its tail, it's probably trying to tell you who's boss. Twitching tail, twitching whiskers. Are your cats always watching the birds outside? You'll often notice their tails twitching while they stare out the window. According to the Humane Society, this twitching is a sign of intense concentration. The same goes for when they twitch their whiskers. Twitching whiskers are another sign of intense focus, similar to the tail. So next time you see your cat's whiskers twitching, they're likely tracking a bug or a bird across the room. Rapid blinking is not a sign of tiredness. It's common for cats to blink slowly with half-closed eyes, but rapid blinking is not a sign of tiredness. Instead, fast blinking in cats is a sign of stress or anxiety. It can also be a reaction to bright lights or loud noises. The third eyelid, known as the nictitating membrane, moves across the eye to protect it from foreign objects. But if it happens rapidly and frequently, it's likely because your kitty is feeling uneasy. Dilated pupils, constricted pupils. Most people think that dilated pupils are a sign that a cat is happy or comfortable. However, it's quite the opposite. Dilated pupils are a sign of stress, fear, or excitement, while constricted pupils are a sign of contentment, alertness, or playfulness. You've seen one slit, you've seen them all. When cats feel threatened, their pupils will dilate and their eyes will change shape from round to vertical slits, much like a snake's. This change in pupil shape and size is known as a menace response and is thought to intimidate potential threats. So if you see these vertical slits, give your cat some space. Slow blinks are a sign of trust and affection. Slow blinking in cats is a sign of trust and affection. When a cat feels safe and comfortable with their environment and the people around them, They will often blink slowly with half-closed eyes. This is a sign of contentment and relaxation. So if your cat is blinking slowly at you, it means they trust and feel comfortable around you. Be sure to return the gesture with a slow blink of your own. If you want to deepen the bond with your cat, ears back, hair standing on end. Ears are one of the first places cats will draw attention to when they're feeling threatened. If your cat's ears are flat against their head and their fur is standing on end, they're likely feeling anxious or fearful. This is a sign of the fight or flight response and is triggered by adrenaline. If this happens during a vet visit, it means they're probably feeling stressed by the environment. The best thing to do in this situation is to remain calm and reassuring. If your cat is displaying these signs at home, try to identify the source of their anxiety and remove them from the situation. Yawning doesn't always mean they're sleepy. Yawning in cats can be a sign of sleepiness, but it can also be a sign of stress, anxiety, or even pain. Cats often yawn when they're about to go to sleep, but they can also yawn when they're experiencing other emotions. A cat may yawn due to stress or anxiety in certain situations, such as being in a new environment or being around unfamiliar people. Pain or discomfort can also cause a cat to yawn excessively. If you notice your cat is yawning more than usual and it's not accompanied by sleepiness, it's important to take them to the vet for a checkup when your cat is feeling strong. Cats are solitary hunters, and when they feel threatened, they may need to defend themselves. When a cat feels threatened, their hackles will rise, their ears will flatten, and their tail will be tucked between their legs. This is the fight or flight response, and it's triggered by adrenaline. If you see your cat arching its back and puffing out its fur, it's trying to make itself look bigger and more intimidating to the perceived threat. If you approach your cat when it's displaying these behaviors, it may lash out and scratch or bite. The best thing to do is to give it space and let it calm down. Kneading is a leftover instinct from kitten days. Have you ever noticed your cat kneading on your lap or other soft surfaces? This behavior is a holdover from kitten days when they would knead on their mother's belly to stimulate milk production. While this behavior is normal, it can be annoying if your cat is doing it excessively. If you notice your cat is kneading excessively, it's important to take them to the vet to rule out any medical causes. In some cases, excessive kneading can be a sign of anxiety or stress. Purring doesn't always mean they're happy. Purring is often associated with happiness and contentment in cats, but it's not always the case. Cats purr when they're content, but they can also purr when they're anxious or stressed. This is known as the purr paradox and was first described in the 1960s. Studies have shown that cats purr at a frequency of around 25 Hz, which is thought to promote healing and reduce stress. So while your cat may not be purring out of happiness, it is a way for them to self-soothe and calm down. When you hear a meow, ask yourself, are they meowing at you or meowing to you? Cats don't typically meow at each other. They reserve meows for communicating with humans, so the next time your cat meows at you, ask yourself if they're meowing to you or meowing at you. Meowing at you is a way for your cat to get your attention. They may meow to request food, water, or to let you know that they need to go outside. Meowing to you is a more intimate form of communication and is reserved for important matters. For example, your cat may meow to you when they're in heat or if they're feeling sick. Pay attention to where your cat is looking. When your cat is staring at something, it's worth paying attention. Cats have excellent eyesight and can see things that humans can't. So if your cat is staring intently at something, there's probably a good reason. For example, your cat may be staring at a bug or a bird that you can't see. Or they may be trying to tell you that something is wrong. If your cat is staring at a spot on the floor or wall and you can't see anything, it could be a sign of cognitive decline. Next time you get a slow blink, return the favor. As mentioned earlier, slow blinking is a sign of trust and affection in cats. When your cat is blinking slowly at you, it means they feel safe and comfortable around you. The best thing to do is to return the favor with a slow blink of your own. This will help to deepen the bond between you and your cat and make them feel even more comfortable around you. And remember, cats are individuals and each one will communicate differently. Some cats will be more vocal than others, some will be more affectionate, and some will be more aloof. The key to understanding your cat's body language is to pay attention to the subtle signs and cues they're giving you. With a little practice, you'll be able to read your cat's body language like a pro. So keep an eye out for the next time your cat gives you a slow blink, a gentle head bump, or a loving meow. And remember, these are some of the best ways to show your cat that you love them too.